Hey guys, it's Carleigh. Welcome back to Mostly Dating, a First Rounds on Media production. First Rounds on Me is a dating app that I've talked about for years, and it's designed to get you off of the app, out of that pen pal stage, and on a real date. All listeners to this podcast can get their first month of a premium subscription for free. Just use the code MOSTLYDATING and the link in the show notes. Actually, First Rounds on Me recently opened a cafe social space in New York City. So if you live in New York City and you're listening to this podcast and you're wondering where you should go to either like try to meet somebody maybe that you want to date or even just like make friends, be around people, I feel like with this spring energy right now, everybody wants to hang out in real life and be more social. This place is awesome. It is exactly that. There will be people there hanging out. There'll be coffee. There's going to be events that we're going to be doing there. So it's super, super cool. Definitely recommend checking it out. It's in Chelsea. I'll put the address in the show notes. Let me know if you go. Maybe you'll see me there. I'll kick things off with talking about what I've been loving. I've been really excited to get back to this little feature that I used to do in the beginning of episodes. The thing I want to talk about today, super quick, I actually have it here with me. So if you're watching on YouTube, this is a serum. It's actually a 4-in-1 serum tint that I've been using. It's from this brand called Daybird, which I had never heard of before. I think it might be new, but I'm not sure. And it's 4-in-1, so it's actually a serum, a moisturizer, a skin tint, and also an SPF. It has SPF 50. I've been trying to be better about wearing SPF every single day. I definitely tend to forget in the winter, but this winter, at least like the past few months, so like end of winter, early spring, I've been using this and I've only been using it. Like I haven't been putting on any foundation, any other tinted moisturizer. This is all I've been using. I have been using like my regular skincare products. The brand says you can just put this on clean skin because it is a serum and a moisturizer as well. I guess I've tried that maybe a couple times, like when I remember to. Usually I'm like in the zone of like doing kind of like in the routine of doing my whole skincare routine, so I forget. And I put this on kind of the same as I would any makeup or tinted moisturizer or SPF. And I love it for a lot of reasons. So for one, it's vegan. The brand is cruelty free. Big sustainability mission, which like I really love. I've written about a lot of beauty brands, and because I write mostly for Mind Body Green, there's a big focus on sustainability and all of those elements. So I like to hear that. When I first look into a product, is usually one of the first things that I look at. Are the ingredients clean? Are the ingredients that have like a lot of science and research behind them? This one, the main ingredient is, I'm definitely going to butcher how you say this, but it's niacinamide. And that's like a very, very powerful skincare ingredient. It has a lot of research behind it. It helps minimize the appearance of your pores. It helps brighten your complexion. It helps support the skin barrier, which is really cool. It reduces redness, which I talked about a few weeks ago, is something that I definitely struggle with. And it also can help with like acne and hyperpigmentation. It's just really, really good for your skin. So I've noticed since I've started using this, because I'm not using a typical like heavier foundation, my skin is so much better. You can tell like this is again the only form of makeup that I put on. If you're watching on YouTube, you can tell it's like the only makeup that I'm wearing. I'll put a little bronzer on as well, but nothing heavy over it. And I love that it feels so lightweight. It's perfect for summer, especially because it has SPF 50. You can put it on if you're going to the beach, if you're going to the pool. It's water resistant. It's really, really good. So I definitely recommend it. I'll put the link in the show notes. Not sponsored, just a product that I've been loving. Okay, I'm so excited for today's episode because, like I teased last week, I'm starting a new format for these solo episodes. So it's not going to be as much of a rapid fire listener question format. It's going to be more structured into segments. And so I'm playing around with these. I shared them on Instagram. I told you guys about them last week. I have five or six that I'm working with that I kind of want to see which ones stick. I want to see which ones I get the most submissions for, which ones you guys like the best. So we're all in this together. Definitely let me know what topics you're vibing with the most and which ones you like listening to, because probably moving forward on solo episodes, I'll probably stick with like 3 recurring segments and then also do some more like rapid fire listener questions that are not specifically in one of these buckets. So I got a lot of great submissions when I shared this. I only shared this on Instagram once, and I was like blown away by the number of people that had very specific questions or scenarios or situations that they wanted to put into these different buckets. So I'll give you the rundown again of what the different segments are. I'm just going to go one by one and I'll kind of introduce each one of them. So the first one is the what should I say? This is when you're having a text conversation, a dating app conversation. I guess like Yes, only like a text or dating app conversation that you're having with somebody and you don't know what to say. So you can send me the screenshots. This person who wrote in today basically just like kind of told me what was said so far. And I also want you to tell me what you want to say because I don't want to just like make it up from scratch. But tell me what you want to say, maybe what's been on your mind. Maybe this is like a recurring situation that's happening with this person, or it's like something that happens to you a lot on the apps. Send me the scenario and I will help you craft what to say, whether that's a first message, a check in with someone when you're not sure where it's going, or something like more complicated. I'll help you find the words for it. One caveat that I explained last week is that of course, you guys are going to send this to me, and then I'm probably going to record it a few days later, and then it's going to come out like a week or so later. So I'm going to try, as you guys send these to me, if I'm going to use it, I'm going to try to give you the advice, like also more like in quote real time, so that you can actually take the advice and not be waiting weeks to write back to whatever this text or dating app message is. So this first submission, I'm just going to get right into it. This person says, "Hi, Carleigh. Love the pod. I've been listening since the Mostly Balanced days." Oh, I love that. "I'm a 32-year-old woman living in LA. I've been seeing this guy for about 2 months. Dates are great. He initiates conversation and texts daily. He's always very flirty. But all of our dates have been spontaneous hangouts. Besides the first date, he never actually makes plans. It's either a last minute, 'what are you doing tonight?' or a vague plan for a future night that is never solidified until right before. Last night, he sent me this: 'Long day, wish you were here tonight.' I typed out, 'You could have made that happen, you know,' but I didn't send it. It feels like I'm constantly playing along with the flirtiness while he avoids making real plans or having serious conversations. Do I call it out? Do I match the vibe? I can't tell if he's into me, or I can tell he's into me, but I have no idea what he's looking for." Okay, I like this one. It's not, again, I didn't get screenshots, but I like that she gave a lot of context. So as you're sending these, definitely give the context because it helps a lot. This is like, I feel like this is probably so relatable for so many people listening. I think that this happens so much that you kind of get in the flow with someone where you're kind of matching their vibe and you kind of want to be like the cool, relaxed, fun one and not say that you're looking for more or not ask for more or not, like we talked about last week, not like place that boundary. And that's kind of like what she's struggling with. So it seems like there are a few things here that would really bother me. So I definitely validate that this is bothering her. It's like it's hard because when you are going out on dates with somebody, she's been seeing him for a couple of months, and you're going out on dates that are like so fun, and then they are initiating all of the conversation between dates, and he's being super flirty. You do kind of just like want to match that vibe and just like have fun. Like, why kill the mood by saying that you want more? Why kill the mood by saying that like you prefer if they would like make a plan and ask you out on an actual date instead of these like last minute hangouts or the vague hangouts. And I think I use this as an example, a scenario similar to this I used as an example in last week's episode when I was talking about boundaries. And this is a boundary thing. So a lot of people think that boundaries have to be like a sit down, like serious face to face conversation where it's like, I am telling you my boundary. But that's not what it is. Like in real life scenarios, this is a situation where she could be like, I prefer if we make plans ahead of time, or I prefer having a concrete plan. Otherwise, I'm going to make plans with my friends, or something like that. Like, I think that that said casually, lightheartedly, that's like a very clear boundary that you're placing without making it like a huge deal. And so at this point, you're 2 months in and you're kind of like, this is like what you guys do. And so this, like, he probably thinks this is working for you because it's working for him. Like, he asks you to hang out last minute and you're able to hang out last minute, or he asks you, do you want to hang next Thursday? And you say yes, and then he confirms the plan next Thursday at 8 p.m. and then you hang out that night. Like, it's been going fine from his perspective, so like no fault to this guy for kind of like continuing on like this because it's working. He's getting to see you the amount that he wants to. He's flirting with you between dates and all is like fine in his world. And so it's kind of on you to tell him that it's not fine in your world. And again, it doesn't have to be like a big, big deal. Like, you don't have to like have a sit down talk with him to tell him like things aren't working for me. You could kind of set these expectations and these boundaries subtly and like naturally over time. So like the next time he asks you to hang out last minute, say like, "Oh, I actually already have plans tonight. I really do prefer if we make plans ahead of time. That way I can make sure that I'm going to be able to do it." Something like that. Like you can say that and then it's like, "Oh, okay." And next time hopefully he asks you ahead of time. Or like in this scenario, he said, "Long day, wish you were here tonight." I don't think he like meant that literally. I think it's just like a flirty thing. I would send that as like a flirty text. Um and I think that I kind of get what she's saying, like, she was gonna say you could make that happen, and, like, match his flirtiness, but then she kind of got frustrated, like, she's always matching his flirtiness while he avoids making, like, real plans or having serious conversations. I'll get into the serious conversations thing in a second. To this, I would, like, say, like, "Oh, so when are we gonna hang out next?" Or something like that. Like, you can kind of, like, still be flirty and, like, quote, "match the vibe," but not just, like, be complacent with the situation. Like, you could say, like, "Oh, is that your way of asking me out?" Or like, "Oh, should we make that happen tomorrow night?" Or, like, something like that. Like, I think at this point, you've been seeing him for 2 months. I think you should also initiate hangouts. Like, it's great that I'm sure it feels really good that he's initiating all the plans and he's initiating or at least all, like, last minute plans, and he's initiating texts and everything like that, but I think you could like lean in a little bit and like let him know also that you are interested and that like you want like a little bit more from the planning perspective. And you can kind of show that and then like sort of like in like a mirroring way, like kind of lead by example, show him like, "Oh, should we hang out tomorrow night and go to do XYZ?" And like that's you making a plan, and then maybe he'll make plans in like a similar fashion moving forward. So that's like a big piece of it. To this exact text, I would again just say something sort of like flirty in that degree. But then the next time you guys are making a plan or the next time he asks you last minute, like make sure that you're leading by example or telling him that you want a more concrete plan. And on the other piece of it, like the not having serious conversations, this was kind of thrown in there at the end. So in the beginning, she said that their dates are great. He's really flirty. He initiates conversations. At the end, she mentioned that he doesn't like having serious conversations, or maybe they just haven't had serious conversations. It's been more like flirty, sparky, vibey. And that's not necessarily like a red flag, but I would say it's something that should be changing by this point if you both are looking for a relationship. And that can happen again naturally. So it depends like if you are trying to bring up heavier, deeper, serious conversations and he's kind of just like avoiding it with a joke, that's the red flag. But if neither of you is bringing it up and both of you are playing off of this great chemistry that it sounds like you have, that's amazing that you have great chemistry. I would take a step back, think about, are you also compatible? Is this somebody that you would want like a serious relationship with? Do you want a serious relationship? Have you told him you want a serious relationship? Think about all of those things. Be sure like what you want with this person, and you don't have to like know for sure you want to like define the relationship and like move in together. Like you don't have to jump to that step, but like is this someone you could picture yourself being with? What do you want from this situation, relationship right now? And those are the things that you share. And so next time you're out, bring up a conversation about what you're looking for. Like it doesn't have to be, I want to define the relationship with you. It can be, I actually suggest that it's, oh, I'm really like having a great time with you. I actually haven't been on the apps anymore. I'm really focusing on this. Like you just say what you're feeling, where you're at. I'm looking for something more serious. So I've kind of like paused on the apps while I explore this with you because I'm having a great time. Like something like that. And then it's like, sit back. Like I know you might feel anxious after putting that out on the table, but like sit back and like be quiet and wait until you see what he says. And that's like his opportunity to tell you what he's looking for. If he's also taking time away from the apps, if he's seeing other people, like the amount that he reveals and like the way that he reacts to that will be really telling. And if you still feel like super confused, then you can kind of like dig in a little bit deeper and talk a little bit more about like what maybe you're feeling in terms of like whether you want to be exclusive or whether you do want to like define the relationship. I think like 2 months in is still like a little bit early, at least in my perspective, for defining the relationship. It could like, I think it's fine to like talk about exclusivity, especially if you guys are having sex. I think that's hopefully something that you have talked about already. But at the end of the day, it's like it does come down to communication. So I know this was more of just like a what should I say, but I think this is like a very, very relatable topic that I just wanted to like dig into a little bit deeper. Okay, the next segment is keep going or call it. So this is if you're not sure whether you should go on another date, maybe you went on one first date and there wasn't like a lot of chemistry, but they're great on paper. Maybe you're in a relationship and you're not sure if you want to stay in the relationship or if you want to walk away. This is just where you kind of lay out everything that's happening in this dating scenario or relationship, and I'll tell you what I think you should do. And these are the types of scenarios where I like having as much detail as possible because otherwise like it is really hard for me to be like break up with him. But again, this is just my perspective, so I chose one. I got a lot for this one, so I have a feeling this might be one of the recurring segments that we keep. But I thought this was a good one that I think again will be relatable for a lot of people. Okay, this person says, I have one for keep going or call it. I met a guy online and he is the first person I have dated. He is super consistent and has made his attraction clear, but I don't particularly enjoy his company and don't enjoy kissing him. He has no friends or family in our city and doesn't enjoy his job. I'm the opposite. I feel like I may settle into the relationship more if I introduce him to my friends and family and he fits in, but I don't want to seem like I am absolutely reciprocating his feelings because that's just not true. We also have some political differences, which he plays down when I bring them up. Help, what to do when someone ticks all the boxes an intentional dater should be looking for, but you feel so anxious because his sense of humor and relationship priorities in terms of intimacy are so different to yours. Okay, this is like, I'm sure from an outsider perspective, everyone listening is like, well, just don't date him. And that's exactly what I would say. Like, do not date this person. There's like not even a small chance that you should be dating this person. But I do want to dig into it a little bit more because I think there are so many elements in here that like even if you're listening and you're like run away, I'm sure that it could be possible for you to get into a similar scenario. It's the classic great on paper but just not a fit for me, and I think that those situations can be really tough, especially if you are burnt out by dating apps, if you are the quote single friend, if you have been single for a while and you want a relationship, if you're over the age that you thought you would get married. Like all of these things force us to just settle, and that's like what she is considering doing. She is considering settling, and she's framing it as being an intentional dater. And I think that that's really difficult because it may feel like that's being intentional, being somebody who like dates the person who's good on paper, but it's not intentional. Intentional dating is knowing what you want, figuring out what you want, and not accepting other things that don't make you feel the way that you want to feel in a relationship. Intentional dating is going on the dating apps and actually reading profiles and going out with people because you're curious about them and not just mindlessly swiping. Intentional dating is not sticking with somebody who completely doesn't match the things that you want just because they're good on paper. Like right now, you're considering doing the opposite of intentional dating. So the first thing is he's made his attraction super clear. He's like, and this is great. Like, I'm sure this guy is somebody's guy. Like, this guy is going to have no problem finding somebody. He is doing the right things. Maybe he needs to make some more friends in his city, but like I'm not concerned about this guy because he doesn't have trouble telling you how he feels and he's making his attraction clear and all of these things. But from the very first thing you said, you don't particularly enjoy his company and you don't enjoy kissing him. Like what? Why would you want to date someone who you don't enjoy their company? Like all the rest of your life is going to be is this person's company. Like of course you'll have your life outside of them, but like that right there is enough reason to walk away. You don't enjoy kissing him, like I feel like maybe you could overcome if someone is like a bad kisser, but like if you just don't feel chemistry with them at all or no attraction to them, like that's a no as well. The no friends or family in your city and doesn't enjoy his job. That's a big thing. And I think that, and I'm not saying that people who don't have like a huge social life can't find a relationship. Like that's not true at all. I have like a few very close friends, but no friends in the city, and like it's not his fault he doesn't have family in the city, but I just feel that if you are saying you're the opposite, you have like a thriving life, you love your job and you have friends and your family is there, and you're just like hoping that maybe if you like bring him into that then things will be good, that's a big red flag on my end as well. I think that somebody has to have their own life outside of you in order for a relationship to work. That is like, and like that is a line I would draw in the sand. Like that you can't date someone who is not like happy in their life. And of course, people will go through hard times when you're in a relationship, but that doesn't mean you should break up with them. But if he has nothing he's excited about and he's just going to kind of like plop into your life, like that's not that's not someone you want to date. You want to date someone who adds to your life, like two people that just like come together and merge, not somebody that you're just going to like put into this like space next to you of like boyfriend that you want to fill. That's not what you're looking for. You're looking for someone who's going to add to your life. You also said you have political differences and he plays them down when you bring them up. So that's something that I think is also not a good sign. If you are bringing up a concern that you have about something that you guys like disagree with and he plays it down. I talked about this in a recent episode. That's actually a bad sign in conflict. If like you bring up something that is bothering you or worries you and they're just like, "Oh yeah, like you're right or it's fine." Like I think that if someone is bringing up to me, like if my boyfriend was bringing up to me something that he was concerned about, I would like ask a ton of questions and figure out like why he's concerned and kind of voice my perspective, hear his perspective. Like I don't like that he kind of like shuts it down or plays it down when you're saying that that is a concern for you. And it is a concern, like especially in today's time, like in this political era, I think it's a big concern. If you have differences that like make you worried, they are going to come up. Like the 1,000%, those differences are going to come up, and so they would need to be hashed out early on. Like we can date people who have different opinions from us. I fully believe that. That's like that helps you grow and like expand your brain and see things from different perspectives, but only if you're able to both talk about it. And so if I haven't made it clear, this is I wouldn't move forward with this guy. I would end it, and you could just tell him you don't think that you're compatible. You've enjoyed getting to know him and you wish him the best and thank you for the dates, but this isn't what I'm looking for, and like I think we should stop. So I think that that's like the clear answer here, and but I do validate that. I know why it would feel hard when you feel like, "Oh, there's finally someone here who like wants to date me and wants to fill that spot, and should I just kind of like go with it and maybe it'll like turn out okay." You shouldn't date someone if you're dating them for the person that you want them to be. You should date them for the person that they are now. Okay, this next section I'm so excited about. This segment is called Expanders. This is dating success stories. So it's to give the rest of the people listening a reminder that yes, people can meet someone online, people can meet someone in real life, people can, I don't know, maybe sometimes turn a situationship into a relationship. It's just something that gave you hope and that made you kind of change your perspective of maybe a story that you always told yourself wouldn't happen. Something that will help us expand our idea of what might happen in our own dating life. Okay, this person says, "Hey Carleigh, thank you for all that you do with the podcast. I found you through Instagram and I've been listening back to all your old episodes. I have a great story for you for your new Expanders section. I'm 37 and wanted to share this in case it gives someone else some hope. After a few years of dating burnout, I ended up reconnecting with someone I'd gone out with a few years ago. We had totally lost touch, but ran into each other at a friend's event and ended up talking for hours. Neither of us were in the same place back then, but this time around it just clicked. It's been 8 months and it honestly feels like we picked up right where we left off, but so much better. Just with better timing and more clarity. Not every first date turns into something, but sometimes a second chance does." I feel like this is like something that like everyone needs to hear, because even me, when people ask me like, "Oh, should I reach out to an ex or should I reach out to this person?" Like I usually will say no. I will say that if someone asks me if they should reach back out to someone they went on like one date, two date, a few dates with, and it just didn't pan out, there was no like red flag or no real reason, it just like nothing came from it, I would typically say yes. Actually, a few people have asked me those questions recently, and I always do say yes, just because like why not explore it? Maybe it was like just not the right time. Maybe one of you just like wasn't fully looking for a relationship. Things can change, people can change. If there's not like a ton of history between the two people, I think it's like actually fun to try again. And this is a great example of this. So thank you so much for writing this in. I think this is like, I love to hear this. I love that you guys just ran into each other naturally. I love that you kind of like picked up where you left off, but with more clarity. I think that like second chances in this respect, I think actually kind of like force the two of you to be even more clear about what you're looking for. And I think that that's even like a push for all of us or anybody who is out there dating to be more clear from the start in general, even if it's a first chance, because these two people probably ran into each other. They probably considered maybe going out again, and they probably, at least one of them was probably thinking, "Oh, should I try this again? I'm not sure." And so they had to be like a little bit more vocal about why they wanted to try it again, or like what might be different this time, or what they were looking for. And I think that probably helped a lot, that does help move things forward. Like telling someone what you're looking for and the things that you want is only going to help you get it. It's not going to scare away the or the right person. It's only going to scare away the wrong person and help you waste less time. So that is such a good expander story. Before I get into the next one, I'm going to take a break to tell you guys a little bit more about First Rounds on Me. This dating app is literally changing the game of online dating by making the transition from chatting on the app to meeting in person as easy and as smooth as possible. If I were still dating, this is the app I would be using. From the moment you match with someone, First Rounds on Me gives you 24 hours to chat before planning a date. So there's no endless back and forth. There's no pen pal stage. The app even has a built-in planner to help you set up the date and pick a place and time. At the end of the day, First Rounds on Me takes the pressure off dating with less small talk and more face-to-face time. You can focus on getting to know someone without overthinking every message. I love this app because right now, especially, people keep saying dating apps are dead, dating apps are going to be gone in 5 years, and everyone's just going to meet in real life. People are over it. People don't like swiping. People are burnt out. I agree with a lot of that. People are so burnt out. People hate the swiping. Even Hinge is putting in these new features to make sure that you don't have so many conversations open at once. First Rounds on Me was ahead of the game with that. This is the first thing that stood out to me about this app. First, I thought the name was really cool. And then I was like, oh, okay, this would have saved me so much time. The number of situations that I got into on dating apps before I met Sean of having a month-long conversation with someone that would have a week in between and then oh, hey again, or oh, what's up? Or how are you? Just kind of small talk that just went nowhere. And it's so frustrating. Or oh, when should we go out? It's I don't know, ask me on a date and plan it. And so this app just gets around that. You will never get caught talking to somebody for more than 24 hours before you have a date on the calendar set. And like I said, the date helps you plan, or the app helps you plan it. So I love it. I honestly feel like I missed out not using it, but definitely let me know if you do try it. There's a link in the show notes where you can get the first month of a premium subscription for free. Just enter the code MOSTLYDATING. Okay, this next segment is called A Letter to My Younger Self. This is where we reflect on lessons that we've learned the hard way and what we'd say to the version of us who hadn't figured it out yet. So if you've grown or you feel like you look back and you have so much, I don't know, love and love for your younger self, and you want to show that and you want to write to them. There was a trend on TikTok and Instagram recently that I loved and that went a little bit viral. And it was this poem that this writer wrote to her younger self, and then it became a trending sound and everybody kind of did it. And it was I met my younger self for coffee today, and here's what I told her about where I am now, and she was late and I was early and blah blah blah. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know. If you made one, let me know. I want to see it because I loved watching them. And it's kind of the idea of it is you just can get, and it's at all ages. It could be right now you're listening and you're 50, and you 10 years from now is going to want to give you a big hug and say don't worry, that thing that you're worrying about is going to work out, or that thing is just not a big deal, or you're not even going to remember about this stressful day that you're having right now, or you're not going to remember that guy who isn't calling you back, or that girl who didn't want to go on a second date with you. These are things that yeah, and it's part of life to feel these things, feel these emotions, and let those things affect us, because that's good for us to feel those things. But getting so wrapped up in it, and some people will feel so hopeless with dating, they'll never meet somebody, and I get so many messages like that. And I think that looking back in 10 years, 20 years, even 2 years, so much can change in just 1 year. You're going to have such a different perspective. And so I think this segment will be really cool to kind of hear what people would tell their younger self. This person says, "Hi, Carleigh. I love this segment. I'm 35 now, and I tell my 25-year-old self, you don't need to keep proving that you're low maintenance. You think being easygoing will make someone stay, but it just makes it easier for them to not show up for you. Wanting consistency and effort doesn't make you needy. Speak up sooner, walk away faster, stop waiting for potential." This was such a good one. I'm is she a writer? The way that you wrote this was amazing. Thank you so much for writing in. It honestly felt cathartic for me to read it out loud, and I didn't even write these words. And so I think this will be a really good segment. Anybody listening, I encourage you to do yours right now and send it to me. Even if you don't send it to me, it's going to be so cathartic. It's going to help you feel just like you're releasing emotions, because that does get stored up in you, even if you don't think about it now. And it's like, oh, I don't even remember, like I said, that guy who ghosted me or that girl who didn't want to go on a date with me. It's still in there if you don't like kind of let it out a little bit. And I think that writing a letter like this would be really helpful. And I totally agree with this. Like, it's so many of us, and I've been there too, like have that instinct to act like you don't care, or act like you're just like the cool low maintenance girl or guy, and being easygoing. And like this, the first listener who wrote into the texting segment, she's like, should I just match his energy and like be flirty and go with the flow? It's like, it's easy to do. Like, that is the easy thing to do. But like, no one ever grew from doing the easy thing. Like, do the thing that you want to do. Do the thing even if it feels uncomfortable. And that's how you're going to grow. And that's how the relationship is going to go to the next step. And that's how, like this person said, like, it's going to force people to either show up for you or go. Show up for you or you're going to go. Like, that's like, if you're just being easygoing and going with the flow because like it's helpful for them or like makes them feel more comfortable, like what about what makes you happy, what makes you feel comfortable? And so I totally agree with this last sentence that she said: speak up sooner, walk away faster, stop waiting for potential. Stop waiting for potential is such a good lesson. If you are new here and you haven't listened to an episode that I did a few months ago with Christine Lang, the intuitive healer, it was all about waiting for potential, or dating someone for their potential, or dating a project instead of a partner. Such a good episode. I'm going to link that one in the show notes. Let me know if I forget to link it and you want to listen to it, because it's all about this. And I think that it's so, so helpful for so many people who deal with that. I've dated projects before and they were all like, I learned from them, but I probably wasted a little bit more time than I should have on them. All right, this last, or actually I have two more segments. So this one is the friendship files. This one I'm curious to see how people feel about it. I did get a few submissions to this one and people were excited because I think that Mia and I, just like my former co-host Mia and I, because we were co-hosts and best friends, we just naturally talked a lot about friendship. And now, like, because I'm a solo podcast host, I don't like talk as much about it because I don't have like a friend sitting here next to me. But I do think that like it's something that is so, so important. And there's so many like obstacles that come up in friendships and kind of issues and crossroads and things that I think will be really helpful for people to talk about on here. So, called the friendship files. It's friendship does get weird and awkward and uncomfortable too. So if something feels off or there's tension or you're just not sure what's going on in a friendship, maybe the dynamic is shifting, you're not sure if you're growing apart, write out the scenario here and I'll help you through it. I have dealt with friendship breakups. I have met like the best friends of my life later than you might expect, like in my late 20s, even in my 30s. I just have a lot of experience with friendships, so I would love to help you with any of these issues that you guys might be having. This person says, hi, Carleigh. I'm so glad you decided to do a segment about friendship. This has been on my mind for a few weeks, and it's really bothering me. One of my closest friends has been pulling away ever since I started dating someone seriously. She doesn't say anything directly, but she's less available, takes longer to respond, and has made a few comments like, I guess I need a boyfriend to hang out with you. I've tried to keep the friendship a priority, but it still feels like there's distance, and I'm starting to feel weirdly guilty for being happy. I don't want to call her out if she's just going through something, but I also don't want to keep ignoring it. This is the tale as old as time. When somebody gets a boyfriend and the other friend pulls away a little bit, or somebody gets a boyfriend and they pull away a little bit, I think that it's natural, especially if you two were like maybe two of the only single ones in the group, or you two just like hung out a lot, just the two of you. I think it's natural that like both of you might be causing this shift in the dynamic. And I think it's normal for the dynamic to change. That's fine. Like, you're not going to have as much time to hang out with this person as you used to because you're going to be spending time with also your boyfriend. And I think that it's something that you probably know in your gut that like the friendship might shift a little bit. Definitely doesn't have to end. Like, people don't have to stop being friends with all their friends because they have a boyfriend. By no means am I saying that. But I think because you know, like, you might feel like deep down a little bit guilty. Maybe you both always talked about your dating experiences and you know that she really wants to date somebody. And so you feel like a little bit guilty, like showing her that you're so happy in this relationship, or you feel like you've achieved this thing that she wants. And this could be like anything. Like maybe two friends are both looking for a job at the same time and one of them gets the job of their dreams and the other one doesn't get the job. I think that it's like there's a competitive nature that comes into friendships in general, even if you don't like actively compete with each other. There's just a comparison. It's impossible to not compare yourself to your friends. But I think that the best possible thing you can do for a friendship is like cheer each other on, be happy for each other. Like the happier you can be for someone else's success, that's like you're going to bring success into your life by doing that. Like you are not going to bring success and achievement and manifestation into your life by being so jealous and angry that other people have it. There's more than enough to go around. Like you have a boyfriend, she can have a boyfriend too if she wants to. Like I know it's not like as easy as snapping your fingers, but this is not like a competition between the two of you. So I think like try to put out of your head like that like guilt you have for being happy, because I don't think like if this person is a true real friend, she doesn't want you to feel guilty. She's not mad at you for having a boyfriend. Maybe she is purposely stepping back a little bit because she wants you to know that she wants you to have your space to hang out with Jack or whatever your boyfriend's name is. Like she wants to give you that space to grow your relationship and not feel like you have to like tiptoe around her. So I think it actually could be really helpful to talk about this a little bit if it becomes like a bigger issue. But I think in the meantime, I would just like continue making an effort to see her. Like you said, you've tried to keep the friendship a priority, but it feels like there's distance. I think that distance might just be like the feeling of change in the friendship, and that's okay. Like the friendship could actually get a lot stronger because you have a relationship. Like you advice for everybody who's in a relationship, you should still maintain your friendships and you should make an effort. It actually like helps you like make more of an effort to see your friends, because it's like, oh, I'm going to make a specific plan with my friend on this night because I know that like a lot of these other nights I'm going to be hanging out with Jack. Like that's like you can that's the best way to approach it. And so I think that that's what I would do. But because she has made a couple of comments like, guess I need a boyfriend to hang out with you, that is what makes me think that maybe a conversation needs to be had. Like in that moment, if she said that, I would just be like, oh, I have felt like a little bit of a shift ever since I started dating Jack. I just wanted to talk to you about it because like I still love our friendship and I don't want like anything to change. Like I know we might be able to see each other less, but I would love to like maybe have a weekly workout class or maybe go for a weekly walk or maybe go for a drink every other Thursday or like whatever. Like I feel like maybe like start a new tradition with them or like have something that's just the two of you that you do together. Like the fact that she said that makes me wonder if you like invite your boyfriend to hang out with the two of you and maybe she just wants some time just you guys. So make sure that you're still dedicating time to like growing the friendship and like you said, prioritizing it. Like be really honest with yourself about how much you are. But if she makes another little comment like that, I would kind of call her out, because it's like if you are still putting in effort and you are still like devoting time to spending like just the two of you and just like being a friend for her, then like that's not really cool for her to guilt you like that. And so I think just like having one conversation to kind of like get it out there and be like, oh, you made a couple of those comments. Like I just want to make sure that you don't actually think that. Like you don't need to have a boyfriend to hang out with me. Like I still want to hang out with you one on one. Like I don't want anything, like I don't want to grow apart. Like all of those things, just voice how you feel. And I think that could be really helpful. All right, this last segment, we're going to wrap up with it. This one is a little bit juicy. This one is called Not Proud of It. This is where you write in something that you're maybe like doing that you know you shouldn't be doing, something that you did that you feel a little bit of like shame around, whether it's like texting your ex still or staying in a situationship that you know isn't right for you, or even like stalking your ex's new girlfriend, like something with a friend, like something at work, like anything that you feel like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, and you just kind of want to like get it out. I think it's going to feel really cathartic. This is the one I got the most submissions for, so I'm going to read a few of them. And I'm not like, it's a judgment-free zone, so I'm not going to like say like, oh, what you should have done is this, or I think you should do this. Like I'm literally just going to read these and we're all going to be like feel a little bit better that like sometimes you don't always do the right thing. You can learn from it, and sometimes it's just helpful to like just tell someone anonymously. This person said, "Hi Carleigh, I recently re-downloaded Hinge just to see if my ex was still active. I didn't even want to match with anyone. I literally filtered the app to just 30 to 32 years old, 6 foot plus, lives within 1 mile, hoping he'd pop up. I spent over an hour swiping and he didn't come up, so I deleted the app again. Not proud of it." This person says, "I'm 34 in a relationship and I caught myself scrolling through an old situationship's Instagram last week. My boyfriend is great. We live together. Things are so good. But there's this part of me that still wonders what could have happened with this other guy." This person says, one of my closest friends just got into a serious relationship. I've been supportive to her face, but the truth is I feel myself getting distant. I get annoyed when she talks about him, even though she seems happy. I know I'm jealous and I'm not proud of it. Wonder if that's the person from the other scenario. But again, very, very common. This person says, hi, Carleigh. I've been with my partner almost 4 years. Lately, our sex life has fell off, like we're going through the motions. Instead of talking to him about it, I've been flirting with this guy at work. I haven't crossed any physical lines, but I know what I'm doing. I look for him when I walk in, and it gives me that little rush that I'm not getting in my relationship. I'm not proud of it. I actually have a few more. I'm going to end with some shorter ones because those are the ones people like directly messaged, or a few of them. And then I also put up a question box where people put them in. So this person says, I told my ex I broke up with him because of political differences when I just wasn't attracted. I don't think that's that bad. This person says, I live next door to my ex and check to see if her truck is there, even though I know I need to let it go. This person says, I flirt with other men, even though I'm in a long-term relationship. Always tell them I have a boyfriend, though. She's justifying it. This person says, not over and still talking to and sleeping with an ex who's non-exclusively dating someone else. This person says, staying in touch with the situationship in HK when I'm in London. This person says, unblocking the gorgeous but poor moral personality men when I'm bored. So I guess unblocking people that you know you shouldn't be talking to. This person says, I continue talking to others when I'm exclusive with someone else because I'm not sure if it's going to work out. This person says checking exes and new girlfriend's Instagram out of curiosity from time to time and gossiping with my best friend about it. I feel like that's just normal. And this person says went back to a situationship who gave me mixed signals from the beginning and he rejected me again. All right, thank you guys so much for writing in. I really like the format of this new format of the solo episodes. Love these segments. Maybe I'll keep them all, but let me know which ones, again, you're vibing with the most, and please write in for them. You can send an email to Carleigh@mostly-dating.com, or you can send me a DM on Instagram. That's @mostlydating, or my new account just for the podcast is @mostlydatingpodcast. And you can send in, again, questions that don't fit into these buckets as well. But please, please, if you are loving the podcast, leave a rating and a review. And thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you all next week.